Boxing Truth here. Just want to do a prediction vid for one of the fights tonight on the HBO card. The co-feature, one of the anticipated fights, at least on paper. I'm going to be attending this card tonight as media. I'm going to catch the Kovalev-Makulin event as well as catch this co-feature bout for a world title in the light heavyweight division. And I'm going to do a film study on both fighters, get a glimpse of both of their styles. I'm going to go over Bivol's performance against Agnew, just a couple of rounds. Agnew is a former Kovalev leftover, was undefeated at the time, I believe, when he fought him, got knocked out in 7 rounds, took a L thereafter, and now he's fighting Bivol, who was a fast-rising guy. He's pretty much a prospect with a belt. Got it in the most easiest of circumstances. Not his fault. I mean, Badou Jack vacated the belt, Ward retired, so on paper, two guys pretty much decided not to fight him. Jack moved on to fight Stevenson, so you can excuse him for that. Ward, he just didn't want to fight his mandatories for not the type of money he was looking for. So you can say Ward officially docked Dmitry Bivol. So Bivol, he's a guy being pushed by his team as the next king in the light heavyweight division. They're very confident in him. Kornilov has seen him spar with world-class operators, and he's held his own and perhaps even done more than held his own. So they're high on this guy. They believe he's the future. Cafe Duba has already commented that he's the future 4 or 5 years down the line, and he's being built towards a Kovalev showdown, which still needs some marinating. They want to sell out the big room in New York at the Garden for this fight to eventually occur. But of course needs to get past Barrera. So let's look at Bivol's style. He's a distance, range, in and out of punching range fighter who is very sharp, fast with his punches, very good technique, has really good educated jab that he changes placement on. He doesn't just jab to the head, he goes up and down with it. He's responsible defensively, very tight with his boxing style. He's got good precision. He's a straight shooter down the middle. Throws his punches straight down the pipe, but he's got good punch variation. He's got a really good hook to the body, really good straight right hand. He draws his left hook pretty weird, but it works for him. He draws his left hook with his fist pointing down. A lot of American fighters rather throw the left hook with their fist pointing up. To me, you generate more power when you have your fist pointing up. But I've tried to throw the left hook like Bivol has thrown it in his career. It's just uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable throwing your hook like that. To me, you have an advantage when it comes to speed when you throw your hook like Bivol, but you have more of an advantage when it comes to power if you throw your hook with your fists pointing up. So Bivol, he's just picking Agnew apart. Agnew is on the defensive, just trying to weather the storm, trying to limit the damage. He's dealing with precise, fast, accurate punches down the pipe. And you know, Bivol, he's well schooled. He's experienced, has the amateur pedigree. He's has a better pedigree than Barrera, but Barrera also has a strong pedigree from the amateurs. It's just that Bivol is more effective offensively. His offense is superior, sharper, faster. Look like he just drops Agnew within the first round. It took Kovalev about 7 rounds to KO him. But in both fights, Agnew was very defensive. So maybe in terms of speed, Bivol has an advantage. He throws a lot of punches. He's very active. So he's a guy that can really outpoint you, that can really, pile on the points with his combinations. Agnew is just pretty much in a defensive posture, just trying to avoid, just trying to get the hell out of the first round. And he's already getting a whooping by a very inexperienced professional But the guy he's well coordinated, he's well schooled, and he's just a better boxer, more talented fighter, who is not a world champion, but now he needs to prove himself in this next fight against Barrera. And Bivol has a chance to make a statement in this fight. It's nice to win, but if he puts on a wilding performance and actually knocks out Barrera, it definitely sends a message to the lightweight division. You see Bivol, he's very active. Throws a lot of punches. Doesn't have the angles. He's mostly at distance, in and out. So I'm not sure how much trouble he gives Kovalev right now. Honestly, I don't think he beats Kovalev right now. But in a year or two, in a year's time, or maybe the end of the year, with a little more experience, maybe he could be a major threat. The reason I say that is because I don't think he beats him now. It's just I think his style suits him. He's at a distance, but in straight lines, in and out. To me, that's tailor-made for Kovalev. You gotta be more of a pressure guy that gets on the inside to trouble him. But if he stay at a range, I'm not sure if I don't think anybody can beat Kovalev at range. Kovalev will have to be pretty past it, or Father Time have to catch up to him to get beat at a distance. So I'm not sure Bivol has the style right now, but he has the skills. Nice counter left hook, goes up and down to the body. Nice left hook to the body right there. Razor sharp, really good speed for a light heavyweight. He's gonna be a handful for Barrera tonight, because Barrera is not as quick, not as active, and he can be dropped with the left hook. He's been dropped on more than one occasion. Was also dropped in his last fight against Barrera with a left hook. So see Bivol, nice counter there with a little jab. Agnew just can't deal with the feints and the speed. Doesn't know where he's gonna punch next. He's pretty much on the defensive, just trying to get out of the round. Bivol's a dominator, coming forward, being the boss in there, popping them with jabs up and down. Feints them, goes to the body with the right. It's just difference in levels right here. Agnew is just doesn't belong in the ring with Bivol at this point. It's pretty much a showcase. And Bivol made easier work of Agnew than Kovalev did. So let's check out Barrera's fight. I'm gonna look at his last fight, just a couple of rounds.
Sullivan Barrera seems to check all the boxes. Good amateur.
Let's see what he got. It's the first round in his last fight at the theater, New York, against Barrera. Awkward opponent. Even Bivol couldn't knock him out. He's a good survivor, moves a lot, provides. He's an awkward guy. He's not an easy guy to stop. Not that good of a fighter, but he knows how to survive. And you see, Barrera is also well schooled, nice balance, nice tight guard, good technique. It's just that he's not as fast as Bivol, not as explosive, and that's where I feel it's going to be a major difference in the fight. Barrera will provide a test. He has the power, he has the strength, he has the experience to and the confidence to get in there and try to provide some resistance, but does he have the total skill set to beat Bivol? Does he have the defense? Does he have enough ammunition? Does he have enough firepower? And that's where I'm not sure. I don't consider Barrera as this huge puncher. He's not the fastest. He has good technique, but he's got pretty much average hand speed, and that's going to be the major difference in the fight. Bivol's just going to be able to outpoint him. He's going to be throwing more punches. He's going to be more active, and he's going to be consistently outscoring him, outlanding him in the rounds, and that's going to be the difference. Can Bivol make a statement? That's going to be really the question in this fight. The odds makers have Bivol as a very significant favorite. Barrera, he made his choice. He decided to take on an inexperienced champion, betting on himself to position himself to a bigger payday with Kovalev as world champion. There he gets dropped with a left hook. That's another weakness Barrera has. He can be dropped early, but he always shows heart. He gets up and he gives a good account of himself going forward. He even gets dropped by light punchers. Andre Ward was able to drop him with a shot to the temple. So you have to question Barrera's punch resistance. He even gets dropped by not the heaviest of hitters, but he always gets up. He always fights well. Doesn't phase him going forward. And he's always show heart in his fights, but I just think he's outmatched in terms of technique, in terms of speed, in terms of fundamentals, in terms of ammunition. Bivol just has more to the table, more combinations, more explosiveness, more speed. He might even be the bigger puncher, and it's his speed that makes him a dangerous puncher. The shots you can't see coming, Barrera gets him back in that round, knocks him down. This was a tricky fight for Barrera. He had to deal with a guy who was unorthodox, a lot of movement. Fast forward a little too much there. Now Barrera, he's back in control after that shaky first round. Establishing his jab. He's going to have to use that jab to keep Bivol at bay. But Bivol's very aggressive. Comes in and out and uses his combos and his feints and combinations to break you down. So I see Bivol winning this fight rather clearly because of he's going to be more effective with his offense, and Barrera's just going to be a little too slow on the trigger. He's going to get consistently beaten to the punch. May even get dropped a couple of times in this fight. But I expect Barrera to get up, fight hard, but he's just going to lose a clear unanimous decision around the 116, 112, 117, 111 range. And it is what it is. I predict one of the Cubans will win tonight, but I don't think it's going to be Sullivan Barrera. But maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll expose Dmitry Bivol as a hype job. Maybe he's not as good as advertised. But from what I see, from the film study, from the footage, Bivol to me is just a more talented fighter. We're going to see if he can catch a little, since Barrera does have some punching power, has firepower that he brings to the table. But Bivol is just a more talented, more skilled, more accurate, more precise, more devastating offensive fighter. He will win by unanimous decision tonight and retain his title, maybe even make a statement, and possibly stop Barrera late. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this fight. Who you got in the co-feature. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.